What is going on, everybody? Day one, vacation times. Even though, today would have been still been a weekend, but entering into an extended bit of time off from work, which is nice. Tried something today. Now, I'll get back to that, and you'll see why I'm gonna rattle off what I usually do here, and it'll feed right into that thing. So the channel is Chasing Geekdom, and normally I'm out in the world covering comic conventions and theme parks and race events like Star Wars Half Marathon. I'm gonna have to start thinking of other examples of that, but themed races that are, distance running events. And since I can't, I'm every day just plopping down here and talking about the same things I would be when covering those events, except without comic convention behind me. I'll have some mediocre, occasionally okay Fortnite gameplay. The thing that I tried today that failed, I tried another technology. I was lucky with this setup. Honestly, it was, I kind of stumbled into it, like most of the first things that I tried worked. And so then I thought, oh, this must be something that either I found that I'm gifted at, or it's easy. Neither of which is true. This morning, today, there's that DC fan dome, and so it's all the the Wonder Woman and the Batman and Flash, and just like a big old online convention, and great production value. And I thought, you know what? Since I'm normally out in the world covering comic conventions, I'm like, dude, I can do it from home, right? Got this little setup, and I can, have it on and just kind of watch. And I got all set up like I would. It felt good, actually, getting geared up like I would when I'd be out covering a comic convention. It's like getting ready for the day and having all the tools ready. And I even had snacks ready here. I had my camera just because it felt right, even though I don't need it. But the one I would usually use, it felt like I was digging in for a day of like panels where you can't leave the venue or else you're going to lose your seat. So like one of those where they don't clear, the hall between each panel. People will leave, and then as they leave, you kind of move forward a little bit each time. So that it was nice. And then I thought, I can try to, instead of having Fortnite on the screen, just have this DC fandom. And the way they have it is in a website, and it's live, but it's not on YouTube. It's not. Anyways, tried to get it to run, and first of all, the way it comes up is with the audio off and in this kind of minimized view. Excuse me. And just want to make sure I don't miss people. I think I'm in a moderator type view here. Pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyways. Well, I had to play around, obviously, with the software and figured out that I could, go in and interact with the way that the browser was being fed into the software that I'm using. But every single time I turned the audio on and expanded the screen, it would end up freezing. And so then I went through like message boards for OBS Studio and all this kind of stuff. And turns out, if you're running a computer with Intel, that's like, that's the reason. For some reason, no matter with like hardware settings or browser settings or whatever settings in OBS, it's just they haven't found a fix for this. Like, it would play and I'd be like, oh, got a couple minutes in, and then it would die. And I spent so much time trying to get that to work, and then I tried to do it through my Switch. There is no browser like that you can kind of download from the Switch, but there's kind of a trick workaround that I found online. Great, right? So I'm like, go into the internet settings and you trick it into thinking that, you know, something in the DNS settings, and I just followed all the instructions, and then you end up being sent to a page where it says continue to Google, and then all of a sudden there it is. It's this it's basically just a Google search. So then I'm like, oh my gosh, I might be able to do this, because I was ready to like dig in for the day, you know, and cover that DC fandom. So failed through the software because I'm apparently with Intel, it's not going to work yet. And then tricked the Switch into accessing that little browser, unofficial browser. And then I got to the DC fandom site, and it loaded. And then as soon as you tried to hit play, it was like, it's not supported. And I couldn't think of another. Basically, this all would have been solved if I had, I don't want to say a better console, because I do love me my Nintendo and Mario and all that. That's like at my core. But if I had, I think, an Xbox or a PlayStation, something that actually had a legit browser on it, because I assume they do, right? I would have been on, just camped out DC fandom all day and felt right in my element. But alas, it failed. Yeah, I guess they're going to do another one on September 12th, but this was the big one. Today was like the Hall H day, you know, for Comic-Con and whatever. And I know they're going to have the encores and stuff, but, you know, I won't have unless they upload it to YouTube. But I really wish that they would have had it just somewhere a little bit more, because they know YouTube is something that a lot of people can access, you know, from anywhere, from their TVs and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know why that they were so dedicated to making sure everyone went to a singular website to watch this, because they could have just done it on the DC YouTube channel. And then anyway, my day would have been different, but it's cool. I'm on vacation, you know? Yeah. Again, I'm going to try to pay more attention to the things, but I'm on a mission. And as you see in the title there, I finally named it Brunch Madness. So let's jump in and I can get into it. I can sit here in the lobby. I'm going through all the fandoms, and I'm setting up a Sweet 16 bracket style battle between, and the bracket's not all set yet. That's what I'm doing now. Looking for the best hungover brunch guest from all of the geekness, and some that maybe not necessarily would be considered as such, but favorite TV shows and movies and fandoms and, you know, universes, Marvel, Star Wars, all that stuff. I went through The Good Place and Back to the Future and whatever, and I'm setting up brackets of who from those shows I end up determining I think would be, and I do one show or one movie per stream. I'm calling them episodes. And the brackets are starting to take shape. So I have 9 so far. Today, I'm going to be getting into Big Bang Theory. Normally I have to pull up IMDb, but I don't know. I probably still should, because with my mush brain, even though I didn't work today, I still ended up with what is very similar to the post-work mush brain, thanks to, I would say, 4 or 5 hours trying to make that work. And because I was dedicated to watching it on my TV, um, didn't end up watching it. It's still going on, you know. So I'm just gonna kind of pick it all up tomorrow or whenever it ends up like actually posting on YouTube. I suppose I could have cast it to from my phone to the TV and watched it that way, but I think that I got to a point where I was broken and sad, and I didn't want to think about it anymore. So I put it all away and watched a dozen episodes of Billy on the Street to cheer myself up, because I felt like screaming and I let Billy do it for me. That was nice. So anyway, today, what I will be tackling to help continue build the brackets for the best hungover brunch guest brunch madness business is the television series The Big Bang Theory. Now I have I wasn't paying attention. I do like my little platforms. Let's go over here. I kind of chill out a little bit. Here we go with the internet again. That looks like it's improving. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, normally weekends it's amazing. Like, there's usually no like hiccups with the internet, but I do have the little like the screen that'll come up. Um, I've never had one, knock on IKEA wood, um, totally cut out and like not come back. So if it does freeze up or whatever, um, it'll be back in a moment. I just have to recycle some settings and all that, and then it usually comes back. Anyway, so criteria. I normally play a little bit of a relaxed first round while I do this, so that I can kind of lay the groundwork and foundation of like the rules, the things that I'm looking for in the hungover brunch guest scenario. Where shall I go? So I don't engage right away. So you're not going to see fights like necessarily. I don't seek them out right away just because I want to kind of set the tone. While they're not doing what I'm doing, maybe they're debating a different show altogether while they play. So we can look at the criteria. They've got to have, if you're unfamiliar, the right kind of energy. So mellow, and this is guessed for me. I'm not looking for a universally like, oh, that would be the best hungover brunch guest for all of them. Nope, just for me. I am the authority on me, so can't really speak for everyone. So they've got to be mellow, but not overly like catatonic. Obviously, there's got to be some sort of like something interesting. Someone who would engage in this kind of asinine conversation, because this is the kind of thing when I'm just tired or I'm after work or I'm hungover, that I would put my mind to kind of get myself out of it. At least put myself in a state where a day is not going to be wasted, if at very least in my mind, you know. So someone who would be chill, not overly so, but not like super energetic, because that would be obnoxious. I use the example normally of, yeah, how about, yeah, I don't really worry about the health stuff too much, because if I die, I die. And another one, big one for me, is that they would be kind to the wait staff. I almost feel like someone else was around for that. Am I crazy? No. Am I hearing that? So someone who's kind to the wait staff. There are a couple of like other bonus things that would be nice, like someone who would be able to take the wheel when it came to the interactions in said brunch venue. Because, one, social anxiety for me, and also I'm just over it, tired, whatever. But they'd also, someone who would actually also bring something extra. But we usually get to the something extra like later on, after, like, if it's not super overly apparent, but like later on after a few, like 3 to 5 have been added to the list already. Because it's like, okay, you can meet the basic requirements. Maybe we can kind of catch a hint of, there's something extra there, but it isn't a requirement necessarily to get on, unless there's just so many people in the cast of characters that you're like, okay, we've got to really early on weed some people out, or like make some other people shine, kind of thing. Yeah. So today, Big Bang Theory, man, I love that show. I don't know that I know anyone else that does. Like, not that it doesn't have a lot of fans, and I think people who love a lot of the stuff that I do in the geekness definitely, most likely, probably do. Oops. See, look at how good I am. Told you. Mediocre. Give me it. I don't often get to talk about this show because of it. I'm back here. Can I drive that truck? I think I can. Am I driving it good? I can't tell. I think I'd win if, like, yeah, we're not going to get anywhere, are we? That should have taken that car out. This is fun. Where's this guy? This guy's funny. Anyways. So yeah, I don't often get a chance to talk about this show, which is nice that now I can. I don't think I'm going to delve into why I don't think that folks, why is the world shaking? What is that? Random stuff does tend to happen, like unexpected things, like when you What is that? Is that Marauder's Landing? Because that's not like a stutter of internet. That's weird. Like when you get closer to the end of a season, they start doing just weird ass stuff, which I dig. There needs to be more of it. Look, if you can, Epic, if you can make that 1984 Apple Macintosh spoof thing, you can throw some rando stuff at us, like actually in the game. Because, I know that a new season is coming, but, you kind of bait and switched us on the way you told the story and moved things along in this game with Chapter 1 versus Chapter 2. You got people hooked on need some cover. It looks like it's stuttering. I'll usually stop until I get things moving again, so we don't miss out on my superior debate skills. But anyways, Epic. Maybe that's why it crapped out on me there, because I was talking smack. There was this just, I don't know if I'd say constant, but cadence of the change to the map and the storytelling. And it was a different type of storytelling as well. It was like random things were happening that would then, literally change the landscape of the island. So it's just super abstract. It was like the island was getting punched with all of these different genres and things, and then it would literally affect what the map looked like, which was awesome. And you never knew. It was just things coming out of nowhere, and then you roll into this chapter, and it was just, I'm sure there are fans of it, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like as if George R.R. Martin was like, this next Game of Thrones, same storyline, we're going to progress the same characters, but it's a book of poems instead. And then he's bad at poems. I haven't necessarily say that these guys are doing a bad job of storytelling. It's just, where you go. Who's shooting at me? Stuck? As long as it's a player. As long as it's a player. Look at this guy. Oh, and someone else in a helicopter. It's like a battle, man. Everybody's doing different stuff. Son of a... Woo! Woo! This is fun. Oh, he ran me over. B-dub. Chub. B-dub. GW, maybe? That was a fun group of people. Got the cars and the helicopters and people being smart and like hanging out on a roof and enjoying the chaos from afar. Dig it. Alright. Anyways. I hope some things change in the next season, storytelling wise. I like that when the stories really do affect the map. But I have a theory that since so many good players, because I know that algorithm wise, I end up getting matched with people who are similar in skill and also in style, because I don't come across many builders. So you can, people who have progressed and maybe a little bit in some other skills and don't, maybe like me, even want to do that building, because I don't. Not to besmirch those of you who do. It's just not what I want to look at when I'm in the game. Like, I don't want to see a bunch of, I want to look at the design of the island and the landscape, but my theory is that it's been pared back a little bit this season. Because why put effort into it if people aren't going to see it? I wouldn't be surprised if they, put more effort into the details of the building materials, honestly. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's like, I'm taking it for granted, but still, like, so hella green, and the water was there for a minute and then it was gone. And okay, I like that new area over there, which is cool. I kind of want to go to space. That would be great, but like, it just, it's cool. I shouldn't complain. Let's go to there, maybe. I haven't even jumped into the battle yet, but you know what? I have some time on my hands. Let's look up good old Big Bang Theory. So we know the criteria now, and I'll mention it a few more times. That's kind of there's a big cast too. But we'll stick with the main group of friends, and then like husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, comic book store owners. Of course, we're talking about Stuart. Come on. And Will Wheaton as Will Wheaton. Let's see if I can arrange that. Barry. All right. Some of these, when you look at how few episodes that they were in, it's surprising because they have such an impact on the show, or you know what I mean, on the story. So, but I'll be here a while, so it's all good. Maybe I'll stop at. Yeah, I think I found the area where I don't really need to delve in. That's good. Take it. Sorry, Captain Sweatpants, but we're not gonna discuss a debate whether or not. Although I bet you know where to get some really good eggs Benny, I'm sure. But from this cast list, we'll start. I like to work backwards then go into the main cast. So we'll start with Sheldon's mom and work our way through the rest. And again, because of this, if you're here to look for superior gameplay or for me to jump into battles all the time, you're in the wrong place. I'm sorry. I try to fight more than I used to. Why is this hovering? Are you supposed to get this with a helicopter? Yeah, probably. I jump into the fights more than I used to, even before I started trying to debate something as random as the brunch guests from shows and movies while I do this, but yeah. Although I would like some weaponry, please. suppose ammo will do. What am I hearing? Is that a car radio? I'm curious. What is that? Anyone? What on earth am I hearing? What on earth is this? Why did it stop? Did I scare it? Is it? Cool. Okay. Someone left a speaker there and then it stopped when I showed up. Moving on. Sheldon's mom. Mrs. Cooper. Mary Cooper. I mean, it's a no, but I'll show my work. She doesn't switch the mom off, or really the, call it judgment. You know, she's all about changing people. I don't know that it's even necessarily just like she wants you to believe in God kind of thing. I think she strikes me as someone that wouldn't rely or honestly trust someone's faith to make whatever changes that she thought needed to be made in their lives. You know, like she's a meddler. Meddler isn't it? I mean, you saw the little outing that they had when she came to Southern California and they took her around and everything and they went into that church and she wasn't shy about, you know, what she thought was off about any of him or his friends. Judgment isn't great, you know. It doesn't really have a place especially in a scenario like this one, you know, where I'm like, I might be either too tired to fight it off or too tired to like stay censored. Stay polite about it. Come on, man. Well, this is going to be a short match. These guys, I tell you. Once I get I'm one win away from my goal for this season. And I have all week basically to get one solo win. If I get it early, son of a mother trucking, get that. Seriously, I have to fight off friggin' 8 of you instead of actual players, forget it. I mean, come on, man. This is ridiculous. Alright. Do your thing. Do your thing. Why can't you hit me? Why can't you hit me? I'm sorry, did I figure them out? You stand still and they don't get you? Yeah. Every time I do this, I have to mention how terrible of an addition these Marauders are in the form that they are, in the volume that they are, and because there are multiple groups of them that land all over the island in these groups of what, like 7 or 8, and they're super aggressive, and they eliminate way more players than they should. I don't get eliminated like that by them often, but I get enough chunks taken out of me. And maybe they were doing it for some reason so that people cycle through the game more often. I don't know why that would be something that they would want. But I don't want to think that, I don't like the idea that they eliminate as many players as they do. Because people are encountering them more often than they are other players. Which is terrible. Mary Cooper, no. No, I don't do judgmental. And I would care more about the fact that you would most likely find a lesson to teach whoever's like serving us as well. And no, you're out. Bye. Great job, Miss Metcalf, in playing that role. As you can see, your work stuck with me. But maybe mostly because I've known people like her. Yeah. No. Hey, let's go to Leonard's mom. Good old Beverly. Oh my gosh. Another hard no, but I've got to show the work. I mean, she did show a little bit. I'm remembering an episode where I might have to take that back and not eliminate her right away. When she comes to town and she's getting to know Penny, and Penny takes her out to drink, and they get sloshed, and she lets her guard down and gets honest about things and how she wants to, enjoy someone that they saw at the Marauders. It's a shame you don't have something like to fire at them from here. Just take them out. But yeah, what I was going to say, and I'll hop back in and talk about Beverly. If I get that goal solo win that I have before the end of the season, which is next Friday, I think, I'm probably going to be doing this, but I'll be playing like Mario Kart or something. I love this game, don't get me wrong, but I need a break from the Marauders. Like, it's weirdly maddening, and what's worse is that reading that it's in competitive as well. Like, people are actually trying to earn money in competitive modes, and I saw a video of these Marauders landed, and this one guy was taken out with, I think it was 2 rocket launchers at the same time. I think I saw that somebody was able to interpret like the gibberish that the Marauders were saying, but I think a lot of people would enjoy seeing them just get wiped. Like, don't just nerf them, don't just get rid of them, but like, let's see a nice, like, maybe disarm them and then just let them be, cannon fodder for all of us and just, let all of our frustrations out on them, you know? Like, yeah, that would be great. Target practice. And then the only downside would be maybe you waste a little ammo, but whatever. That would be great. Somehow add that to the story, and then... Anywho. So Beverly. So she's a different kind of judgmental, I don't think that she's the type that wants to change people. I think she examines them. And examines them and judges them. Like, as lower beings. So there's not a lot of humility in her. So that's definitely already like off-putting. But let's look at that time that she spent with Penny, because this whole enterprise, the premise is it's a hungover brunch, so we could pretend that it was the day after that, right? She had the right kind of state of mind, whole sunglasses on and kind of pretty chill, and maybe a little too much so, but she did kind of snap into, even in that state, being a little bit, I don't know if it was judgmental. Was she? I think she criticized Leonard in that state. Oh, right. Because she was like, I think she thanked everyone who wasn't actually driving her to the airport. And he was a little hurt by that, and I think she criticized him in that moment. So yeah, I don't think that shows enough of a difference to be able to as any kind of grand counterpoint to what we already know as far as her examination and judgment of most people. She was fond of Sheldon. So that definitely says a lot. I'm not saying he's not someone I wouldn't hang out with, because I'm not committed to only hanging out with the perfectly social person, if that makes sense. Internet's trying to do its thing again. Come back to me, internet. It's trying. Sometimes, apartment buildings. Although, for the most part, I'm wired. So, it's not like Wi-Fi channels are being congested and doing this, because the only thing that's... Wi-Fi is the webcam, which is actually my smartphone. So I'm going to have to say no to Beverly. We knew that's where it was going, but, we got to work it out. Because, again, this is an opportunity to talk about the shows we love and the characters that make it so in performances. Because both of the moms, those actresses, were such a great job. Let's fight someone. I see you. I see you. Do you see me? There's two of us going after that guy. Where are you? Ah! Ah! See, there's an example. I have theory. I want to debunk something that Epic Games says when people go and buy different skins and stuff. I need ammo. Why is none of this ammo? Son of a monkey. Alright, let's see who I have to fight in here to get some ammo. They always say that skins and things like gliders and all of that don't give any competitive advantage, which is BS. And that was an example of it. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I just want to get some ammo first, buddy. Hold on. And I'll come fight you. Nope. So I could see that guy through the bush. Why? Because he had a neon skin. He cannot see the Batman through the bush because I do not have neon skin. That is a competitive advantage. You know what I mean? Like it's available to. Should I say it's available to anyone? I guess anyone can choose, like, from the skins and stuff that they win through, whatever. Because you don't have to buy all of them, right? But no competitive advantage if I'm running around slinking in the shadows, especially if I'm the Dark Knight, right? And I have the actual cape, black cape instead of, and so I'm just all shadow and I'm in the shadow. You're telling me that there's no competitive advantage from that over trying to do the same thing as Batman with those neon wings that we all got when we went to that little, like, concerts or whatever that was. Yeah, that's BS. Anyways, there is a competitive advantage. Can be, at least, one over another. Because I would not have been able to take that guy out blindly through a bush without him being the shiny, bright neon color of Listerine. Anywho, who are we talking about? I do get sidetracked a lot, and that's the challenge with this. We could do another parent. Let's do Mr. Dr. Kuthrapali. He seems like he could be down. Like, there's, early on you get a glimpse of him just being a... Well, did have kind of judgmental parents, Maybe it wasn't necessarily judgment from him, but expectations. That's a little bit different, Where is that fool? It's one of these that's going to hang out in his helicopter all day. Although I am the guy that hides in bushes, so what am I talking about? Yeah, Kuthrapali, Dr. Kuthrapali. I mean, I think he definitely lightened up after he and his wife split up. Because it's one of those, like, he criticized and maybe was a little judgmental of, like, people's lack of accomplishment, I guess. What he perceived should be. Because he thought he had his life all together and everything, and then when it wasn't anymore, he was probably like, oh, I'm actually more like them than I thought. I'm reading a lot into it, but I think that might be fair, because he did kind of come down from that little high horse and was different as a character after that point. He likes to party a little more. Am I right? Here we go. Now I've got some ammo. Now, alright, gonna ran into this house, buddy? What do we got left? 11? Where'd you go? Now, looking at the criteria, we'll start there with Dr. Kuthrapali, the elder Kuthrapali. And we'll look at it in this, like, later part of life, but, like, after he and his wife had split, he kind of mellowed out and stuff. I think he'd be in the right state of mind, obviously. He's the right energy level. Would he be kind to the waitstaff? He seemed like... I don't know. He seemed like he... Because expectations, like I think he had expectations with his kids and his wife, and even after he came down from things, I don't know if that would necessarily transfer into something that he probably had a blind spot there. I think, where he'd be a bit of a Karen about where are they? Well, we know where two of them are, but that's no surprise. Oh, there's another one here on the other side of this hill. What is that? Oh, that was the helicopter dying. Oh, there's one. Right? Is that a guy? Can't tell. Yeah. Someone's coming. Where are you at? Oh, he's got a better gun than me. Ooh. Oh boy, that had me scared. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna do this and try to talk about this stuff at the same time. What's the challenge? That's the thing, right? Let's try this. Let's do this. I got this gun. I'm not very good at it. There's 3 people left. Where are they? They are that way, apparently. There's 2 of us now. Where is he? Where are you, buddy? You're gonna have to come out. Alright, let's save him. There he is. Huh. That came in handy. Why not? Let's use it. Where is he? Coming around, coming around. Keep hearing this line from Saving Private Ryan. Oh, of course the internet's going to try to crap out of me right now. Where are you, buddy? Stick with a gun. Well, ooh, I do like this one. Where are you, dude? What are we talking about? Dr. Kuthrapali. Right. Let's see if I can multitask here. Where are you hiding? Come on, buddy. Let's fight. There he is. Oh! So close to that last win of the season. I chose the wrong gun. Oh well. Thought I was moving it over to that like drum gun thing because they're a little bit better when you're closer. But I went to the burst. Oh well. All right, back to the debate. So, Dr. Kuthapali. I don't know. I think he'd be a little bit off-putting when it came to the wait staff. I think he'd still have somewhat of a, not critical. I think he'd be a little bit of a Karen. Like not realizing he's being nitpicky about food or the service or whatever, even in his, or maybe because of being in that state of mind, where he's tired and a little bit more uncensored. So, yeah, I don't think Dr. Kuthapali, the older Dr. Kuthapali dad, is going to make the list. I'm bummed that I picked the wrong gun there. I intended to do the drum gun because then he would have been toast real quick, but fingers worked wrong. I did wrong brain thing in finger on game controller stuff. Good job, me. Let's see where we at. We're good old Will Wheaton as Will Wheaton. Yeah, that's tough. But let's. He ended up becoming. Like, I think he was still well liked by the rest of them. It was really only Sheldon that had beef, and beef for the wrong reason. But then he actually had good reason because that whole Meemaw card game thing where he faked his grandma's death. Oof. Although I mean, it's a lot of friendship. I don't know if I'd necessarily call it friendship, but goodwill he threw Sheldon's way when he didn't have to, you know. He kind of, when he came by, I don't remember what happened to Sheldon at that one time, and then I think Amy convinced Will to come. Something about his career, and then Will came and like talked to him and, you know, empathized and stuff. So yeah, I don't think that Sheldon's beef like necessarily would, even with that whole card game mob thing. So looking at the next day, when he's had tied one on the night before, I think he'd have the right energy level. And I'm trying to think of Will Wheaton in terms of Big Bang Theory and not like the vibe you get through like Instagram or what he used to be on Twitter. I will not look at those things. Although I do appreciate the fact that he had a block list, a very extensive one on Twitter back in the day that you could subscribe to. And boy, did it improve my experience on that social media platform. Because even when I think the service that he used is gone, or his, because he's not on Twitter anymore, but all of that just remained. It's not like because the list was gone, all of a sudden, you know, havoc was wreaked on, you know, my timeline or anything. Still, I'll come across. Why are you shooting at me? What am I? Man, I'm more tired than I thought. Anyways, like I benefit from it to this day because I'll see a thread and then I'll be like, why can't I see this person's, you know, tweets or whatever? And then I'll be like, I/will blocked them. Thank you. And then once in a while, I admit I'll view the tweets just to see and what I'm. No, Brian, that was a bad idea. Ah, okay. Anyhow, so Will from the show. He'd be in the right state of mind. I think obviously he would engage in this kind of. Should I? Do I care about Loot Llama? Yeah, let's get some ammo. These used to be a lot better. Like actual weapons and stuff, but now it's those like stash drop things now. Like, yes, okay, sure, I'll get some. Save a slot for another gun. A lot of people in the helicopters today. So yeah, he'd be in the right state. He'd want to engage in a conversation like this and have a lot to contribute, obviously. I think he's in character he's predisposed to not sass. Was it sass? It's not necessarily sass, but he's got kind of he's got a sharp tongue, you know, which is evidenced by, kind of the smack talk that he does with Sheldon in that card game, and also that whole bowling thing. I honestly think him as a character, that's kind of pretty core to who he is. Yes, come upstairs, please. Am I gonna die or is he gonna die? I'm not sure. Should be fun. Oh, I am. They were much more nimble than I. Ah! Oh, so close. Look at that. Anywho. Man, I'm playing a lot more rounds. I don't usually get eliminated this quickly. True mediocre gameplay. Oops, on display here. I think I'd be concerned, in the same way with like the elder Kuthrapali, that predisposition of his to like the sharp tongue, wit, that would potentially come out in interactions with waitstaff. I mean, I know that like someone who's been around the industry, which his character is as well, because he is him. He is him. In the show, you're that fake pleasantry type thing is something that that they learn and put on that like public face, like that kind of thing. But when you're tired and hungover and it's early and you are predisposed to that kind of banter, I don't know. I don't know that which would win. I don't know which would win, and that would make me concerned. Because it is of utmost importance to me that, and I know I can when I'm in that state, be kind and appreciative and genuinely thankful for service. And I don't think that he'd be able to take the wheel, Also, I mentioned this before, but too similar to myself in age and a lot of things. So I do want to have someone around, even in those, settings where it's like I'm going to be challenged and pushed, and I don't think he. Yeah, sorry, Will Wheaton. Surprised you're not on the list. Man, I'm burning through them. Very cryptic. No. But why? That dude. The contempt that he pretty much has for everyone. Obviously. It's gonna be a big no. I mean, that's a big enough reason. That guy doesn't give a rip about anyone. He doesn't give a rip about people's feelings. He's such an obvious no. You've watched the show. He might be in the right state of mind. He might even be prone to, having. I want to last a little bit longer in the round. I hate the recycling process, even if I don't. I'm not challenging myself or whatever by, jumping into the fight. But like, I'm on a mission here. Oops. Here. And here. And here, but maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Also, partially in the game. I do like this little. Where's the farmhouse? Let's go to there. Yeah, Kripke. Yes, he'd probably be in the right state of mind. He might be interested in having this conversation, but again, kind of like Jeff Winger from Community, he'd think that it's a conversation to be won, rather than just like ruminated on, and like debate doesn't necessarily mean like a debate for a winner and a loser, but I don't think he'd see that. So that's a good reason for a no, but I think the biggest is just his contempt for people, and he would be not great too. And not great, not grateful for service people. Folks. So Barry, you have been eliminated. I know somewhere he's just devastated. I was going to look at Mrs. Wallowitz, but can't look at Mrs. Wallowitz because we never see her. But it's a no. And she's probably not going to leave the house to go to brunch. And she's going to be the ultimate Karen. Big time Karen. Yeah, she's going to complain about everything, but she's not going to leave the house. And I'm not going to go over to the Wallowitzes for a brunch because just listen to them, yell at each other. No thanks, I'm good. So I think we've eliminated the main cast appearance. Stuart. We're burning through this whole cast, and I'm gonna have to make sure that there's at least 2 or 3 to debate between. What am I doing? Stuart. Obviously, Stuart's going to talk about this. Obviously. And he's going to have a lot of good material to add, information to add that I wouldn't know. And he wouldn't do it in the, like, annoying way that Garrett from, I assume that Garrett from Community would, where it's like, yeah, well, I know this, and like just inundate you with trivia, to win just at being trivia man, and look at all this stuff that I know. Even though, I mean, he and Sheldon had that debate and but Sheldon pretty much forced him into it, backed him into a corner when he was on that date with Penny. Stuart, not Sheldon, obviously. Oh yes, please, I will take this. Thank you very much. So, he'd have the right energy as far as like being chill, not being overly or too, like, he wouldn't have tied it on too much. So, okay, I think it's time to fight someone. Where's everybody? And he is in the service industry, so he would be great. And he's, got the mild kind of personality, so that would be nice as well, for them and for myself. Would he kind of take the wheel? I think he would. I don't know. It's maybe because he's a pushover, or no? I guess it really wouldn't matter to me, honestly, in that kind of setting. So yeah, I think he'd, not in any kind of assertive way, no. I think he'd, just because he would be able to connect on the fact that he also helps people, service-wise, that he'd slide right into that role, which is good. So he'd want to, he definitely, so he checks all those boxes. I'm trying to think if there's anything. Where's that coming from? There you are. Where are you at? That's good. I got him. I was almost out. Shoot. Alright. Normally I like to try to spring a trap on people in here, but I want to skulk around and hide in the bushes this round. I think Stuart's going to go on the list, honestly. I'm not overly fond of being in the company of, like, punching bags or pushovers, but I think that he's capable of, like, stepping up. Isn't he? Or no, did we ever see him? Well, okay. He actually had the courage to ask Penny out. So, yeah. Hey, buddy. No, you were going to go for a ride. I'm sorry. Oh, look at that, though. The wheels on that are busted. It's funny. Yeah, Stuart. Respect. You're going on the list. Oh, the first one. Where's my list? Stuart. Here we go. First to make the cut. Congratulations, buddy. Amy Farrah Fowler. Since I do look at all of the eras of each character. Because when she first came on the scene, holy cow, that would probably have been a no. My name is Amy Farrah Fowler. I would like to, like, it was just very. Didn't she order tepid water on their first date? Once a year or something like that she does to keep her mom off her back. Yeah, it would have been a big old no, but that character grew a lot. So let's look at the criteria. So she definitely would she have this conversation? Would she see the you know what? She's with Sheldon, and obviously he would, like, he'd be super into it. What is that weapon? Is that like a boat doing that? Probably. I think even if she after having been with him for a while, it would be one of her, I was going to say channels, where it's just like she can switch that on because she's with Sheldon. And that's just something that he would do, talking about the comic characters and that kind of thing. So later on, I think she may have a little bit more in touch with like pop culture and that kind of thing. Would she be good? She'd be at the right state of mind, I think, the next day. Did Amy drink? Yeah, she did. Yeah, she let loose a few times in that series with the going out and whatnot. Oh. Who were they shooting at? That's what I want to know. That was Shuby something or other, aka bot number 7. That's weird. Oh yeah, I need a little bit of this. So, Amy Farrah Fowler. I think she'd be good to the waitstaff. I think she practiced enough at drinking to have been able to I'll just keep a flare gun and take that. Thank you. Where is everyone? How about we do this? Anyone? Bueller? Yeah, Amy. Yeah, this joyrider. Alright, good old Amy. I don't know that it would be a genuine engagement in that conversation. Oh, yes, she could switch it on because of her time with Sheldon, but I don't know if that she'd be she'd want to, because I'm, like being a friend. She does it because she's with him, and I don't know that she'd be like super keen to do so. Um, one, when she's not with him, and two, when she's like just chilling and recuperating. Granted, I think is someone trying to snipe me. Probably. Let's go upstairs. Wait. Got 5 left. Four left. Oh, what's going on here? I'm staring at the sky when someone. I heard someone. Where did they go? Oh, I did that. Ha! That's funny. Someone's over here. Yep. And then there were two, but who's this fool? I like these. Where is this dude? I think Amy is gonna not make the list because I think it would be more of an obligation. She'd. Whoa, 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 whoa. He's got one of those guns. Holy cow, I am woefully low on. Son of a monkey. That was nice though. They had one of those, like, I don't even know what they call them. I think you have to take down the marauders to get one of those little things. I'm sorry, Amy. Yeah, I think you'd feel a little bit more of an obligation to engage in that. Maybe resent it a little bit. But Miss Bialik is awesome in that role. Super impressive. Bernadette Rostenkowski. So far, it's only Stewart, which is surprising. Hopefully, I'll end up with 3 on there. So, Bernadette. Just because she's with Howard doesn't mean, just like with Amy, doesn't mean she'd necessarily be interested in this kind of conversation. Because I never really saw. No, she's connected in, like, when it comes to pop culture and that kind of thing. She would have her own interests. And I think there could be enough common ground to, like, find a show. Like, I bet she watches Vampire Diaries. You know what I mean? I did that last night. So there's going to be something that show that you can find, or a movie that she'd be like, yeah, let's internet. It's trying. A little bit. No? Maybe not. I don't know why I decided to jump in here when the internet's getting all wonky. Not that it matters. If you can hear me, Spectrum is trash. Just so you know. Like, it might be trying a little bit here. Alright. Most likely back. Oh, look at that. It actually recovered. I did get that little bit in there. It's pretty impressive that they're able to recover some of that stream. But There we go. Seeing some things. Why don't you shoot me while I'm in the air, dude? Damn. I might be back. Maybe, maybe not. Spectrum is trash, if you didn't hear that earlier. Live somewhere where there's competition for high-speed internet. That is my recommendation for you. That's my little lesson for today. Because Spectrum has no competition, so they don't really have to try. Yeah. Waiting for when AT&T can get that fiber in my area. I'm in St. Louis, by the way. And you would think that it would be, but no. Normally there's like a month out of the year where it struggles, when there's a lot of like electrical. Mother trucker, seriously? I guess it didn't die out totally. Whether it's electrical storms and heat waves and all that stuff, and it taxes the system. But it's mild right now. It's like very nice out. So, and I have done all sorts of things to make sure that it's not environmental in my setup. Anyway, since I have a moment where it's actually working, let's talk about Bernadette. Bernadette would be in the right state of mind for a nice hungover brunch. I think, again, there'd be some sort of common ground we could find, a show or a movie or something to talk about, and I think that she'd see the value in this kind of enterprise, this premise, this activity, just to kind of like kickstart the brain, because she's a very smart woman, and would obviously also not want to have a full-on day go to waste. So I think she'd be down and have the right energy level. Is she a nurturer? I mean, she's a butt kicker, that's for sure. I think she'd be good to the waitstaff, and also that kind of assertiveness in a nice way, I think, would take the wheel as far as the social interactions. So that's good. So I think we'll slap her on the list, and then we can kind of look at like something extra that those that are in the finals kind of bring to the table. I like to be challenged in the right way in those circumstances, similar to, like, because we mentioned Caroline Forbes from Vampire Diaries made it on the list last night. Are they too alike to be on the same list? Not just because they're, I was gonna say spunky, is that rude? Spunky blondes, but but this is the Big Bang Theory episode, so we'll not let that be a contributing factor. So we'll put Bernadette on the list. Yeah. Bernadette. I should probably look where I'm going, but yeah, I'm just gonna go for a run. Stuart and Bernadette so far. Rajesh. Now we're in the OG crew. Raj. Definitely into this kind of conversation. Would have a lot to add as far as the debate was concerned. The conversation. writing a song, Thor and Dr. Jones, He's got the right reference points. Very kind-hearted, Depending on... Did he ever get to the point where he did, right? Where he didn't have to be drunk to talk to women. He gets more self-assured later on, too. So I think he'd be, good to the waitstaff, that's for sure. Excuse me. So definitely have something to contribute to the conversation. Good to the waitstaff. I don't know that he'd take the wheel in that conversation or in that situation as far as taking control and where are they at? Where are they at? Over here? Over there. Yeah, I think I do want that, but let's make sure I'm armed and ready. This next person. Where are you? I hear you. Wow, that was not a good job of... Caramba. Alright, let's get some of that. And I'll trade you for that. And I will go hide somewhere so I can get healthy. For a sec. Alright, let's chill in here for a sec. Alright. What are we talking about? Good old Raj. I don't think he would be predisposed to although he is kind of a host, isn't he? He did like to have company at his place. So maybe that aspect would kick in. And he would do something like that, Should I run out? Yeah, why not? Where's this guy? Kinda wanna fight. So the right vibe. I mean, this is honestly, there's 12 people left in this round, and the Marauders are still running around. It is so dumb. Let us fight each other. Anyway, he'd have the right vibe. He'd be kind. He'd have, and later on, more self-assured Raj, So yeah. I think Raj is gonna go on the list. And then once we've got the kind of top 3, 4, or 5 or whatever kind of locked in, we can see what something extra there is, or maybe it makes some stand out from others. Where's Helicopter Man? Where are you, buddy? Took that one helicopter out in the last round. I've got a taste for it now. A hankering. Where are they? They can't see in bushes, so... Did they see me already? Yep. What am I doing? What am I doing? Should I fight them? Should I fight them? Should I... what? This is so dumb, dude. And I got someone shooting at me that's probably not a marauder. They don't see me, right? Their attention is on someone else. Guess I'll take it. Just one of the worst additions to this game. I feel bad for those that do competitive and have to deal with marauders taking them out. If they don't see you go into the bush, by the way, if you don't already know this, they won't see you even if they literally run through the bush. There are 5 players left in this game and at least 4 marauders. This is just insane. Honestly, if there's 25 players left, the marauders should just go take a nap. You know what I mean? I should be able to sit here and watch the other players. If this is, I don't want this. I don't want my goal solo win to be the marauders taking out any more players right now. I know it's going to happen, but I also don't really want to go kamikaze right now. I'm a little bit torn. They're the worst. Alright. What are we talking about? Raj going on the list, right? Let's do that before I jump back in to finish this round. Raj. Stuart, Bernadette, and Raj so far the only ones. Howard's going to be a no, but I'll show my work. Howard would be one of those what's his name again? Oh my gosh, I just said his name from Community. Oh, there they are. Son of a biscuit. Is there anyone over here? Anyone? No? Alright. Where is that? Is that a player? Or is that a marauder? The players that use those grappling things just always get me. God, you got to be kidding me. This shouldn't be a thing. This shouldn't be a thing. Yeah, they see me. I know you see me. Friggin' idiots. It's so crazy. Again, I know that I'm playing casual, so it's at least it's not competitive and I'm not playing for money like the folks that I saw on Twitter. That's insane to me that they put the aggressive, what do they call the one that uses the sniper rifle well? Sniper rifle, Deadshot, Marauder, or whatever, taking people out when they're in there trying to earn money in a competition. I didn't fully understand. It's the competitive aspect is a new world to me, and I didn't understand when people kept complaining Epic doesn't take. Whoa, that's a player. Okay, I'll accept that. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? They always get me, these guys. Whoa! Oh! Well, you earned it. Bot, I guess. Anonymous? Okay. Oof. That was nerve-wracking. Kind of annoying. Howard Wallowitz, so we're down to 4. I think Howard would be in the right state of mind. He'd have the right energy, that's for sure. Or a hungover brunch. He's probably too much. You know what? I'm going to take that back. was gonna say he's probably too much like his mom would be and be demanding, but I think he's probably been to enough restaurants and things with his mom that he actually sympathizes. Like it's kind of like built in at that point. So he would probably not overdo it, but like, yeah, I think he would be the guy who's like, he's trying to make up for his mother's wrongs, um, throughout his childhood growing up and everything. And like, would be actually very kind and gracious and, that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think he would have adopted her Karen-ness, and he would have gone the other direction and been, sympathetic and be good to them. Would he take the wheel in those interactions and take the burden off of me because of the social anxiety and whatnot? Howard. I mean, he thinks he's charming. And I think even in that state, it probably would take the edge off of how annoying that attempt is, but I don't think the attempt would go away. And I think it would manifest itself in a way that would distract and detract the attention of those, even though they're simple, those interactions from myself. Which is good. Man, I thought he'd be a hard no, but not so far. Would he be a Garrett? That's who it was I was thinking of. Would he be a Garrett about... Because it seems like they did have healthy debates about these things. Especially like comic book genres, they'd plead their case, but like I don't know if I don't know, he might be a little bit of a Garrett about it. Instead of looking at it as a conversation and kind of bouncing ideas off of, he might look at it as like a competition to win, like Jeff Winger. And if you're looking, he was kind of a scumbag early on, and early Howard would have been a big no, because socially just awful. And they all grew, and I think he grew not only because of Bernadette, but in large part because of yet see anything jumping out that would, remove him from the list. Because there is enough of a view of him in the show, an era, if you will, later on, where it's like, especially after they have a kid, right? Yeah, he's a dad, so he's like, that takes some of that. That forces someone to grow up enough to... It gives them an opportunity to. They don't always take it. Let's just say that. So it looks like ticks most of the boxes on a basic level. He's not overly like so far nothing jumping out as being like something extra, and that something extra being what puts someone at the tippity top. But it's nothing. It's eliminating him, so we'll put him in the top. In the finals. Why the heck not, Howard? Because then once you look at those in the finals, and you can really see Penny is like almost an immediate yes. Because much like Bernadette, it's like she's been around them enough, later on to be able to talk about, to not be surprised that someone would come up with a premise like this and want to talk about it. And then I bet would probably appreciate finding common ground in the title or genre or movie or, TV show being talked about. So I wouldn't be, bound to look. I mean, like I said, I did Vampire Diaries last night, so it's not all comic book, DC, Marvel related, or Star Trek. And I definitely see her wanting to kind of go through this same kind of scenario with something that she loved that would be from something that we could find that common ground on. Definitely would be in the right state of mind. She's not. Who was it that I eliminated? Because, oh, she went too hard the night before, and you'd be like, yo, are you okay? That was Kate from Lost. Yeah, that was. I think Penny's just practiced enough to know. Like, not just know, but tolerance level, and not an out of control personality. It's not like, because with Kate, circumstantially, there's just a lot of drama. Penny's just, I wouldn't say a charmed life or anything, but Penny had first world problems. Yeah, put it that way. But it was a sitcom, so, some things I could relate to, as far as struggling actor in LA and just being kind of like being there and having some talent and just not having enough material to go around, I like that she ended up seeking advice from Will Wheaton and him being like super candid with her about when she was gonna that ape movie or whatever. And I think they ended up on the film together. But anyways, so there's that. That's relatable. We could talk about that as well. So that's nice. She's very down to earth. She would be good. Great. It's obviously, jeez, the wait staff. Miss Cheesecake Factory herself. Okay. Penny's definitely on the list. She's the one to beat, honestly. What? I say that, but I'm always surprised what I find when I put my weird ass brain to these things. We'll do Sheldon last. Leonard. Leonard. Leonard never really fully got past the issues caused by, and this is not a judgment, this is just an observation necessary to look at for this kind of enterprise. Nope, that's gonna be able to jump there. Caused by his upbringing and his mom and the. But I'll think more about that in a minute. How that might affect choice. Obviously, he's going to be good. Grateful to staff, all that stuff for service, that kind of thing. There's 19 people left, and I haven't seen anyone, he says before getting sniped in the back of the ear. Yeah, so Leonard Hofstadter. Now that we're at these top two of these stars of this cast, I have to give credit. That show, and a lot of them fall into this praise as well, but when I look at Leonard and Sheldon, they always struck me as the character work that went into these two. It never felt like cliche kind of sitcom basic characters, like stock characters, where you just have like, oh, here's this guy and he says the clever this stuff, and it was so, I mean, it was well written characters, but these guys were able to really put the work in and make something very special with these two. Which is one of the reasons I think I love the show so much, because it just felt, it always came across to me as like, when you look at sitcoms, Cheers or Frasier, something that it felt like that. The work put into the characters. And you don't come across that much in like modern sitcom world. Perhaps like an Arrested Development, but where are you at? Are you shooting at me, or are you just like, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There you are. There you are. Why do they saw someone? Ooh, yes, gimme. Thank you. So yeah, it struck me as like performances that you would have found in much older actors. Oops, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, I was always very impressed, and it felt like the dedication to character that you'd find in theater performances, and especially with those two. But let's look at Leonard as the hungover brunch guest. He'd definitely be kind, to the wait staff. He'd be in the right state of mind the next day. He would want to talk about this kind of stuff. He liked to challenge his mind, being a theoretical physicist and all. He would definitely buy into the premise and the value of having this kind of seemingly trivial conversation, as an exercise in like getting the mind it's like a jump start, as I've mentioned, of like making sure a day is not fully gone to waste. Yes, please. Yes, please. You? Yes, let's do. Now, where are you? But you know what, dude? With this, and with this, and with this. Ah! Potato. That reminds me of Lord of the Rings. Man, there was a time, like, last season when the wins came, like, way too easy. And I got into this spot where it was like, you know, I could do this kind of debate brunch madness thing about different shows and then still come out, winning 2 out of every 10 rounds that I played. It was just kind of like, oh yeah. And then suddenly they must have, like, whatever algorithm put me into matches with better players, and it was literally night and day. Every single person that I was playing with was so much better. It's a good thing because you don't want to, like, you know, get stagnant and all that. I'm not here to, get whatever. But whoa, that was an eye opener. Because before it was like, okay, there's all these weapons, and here's the different things that they can do, and here's this grappling thing, and here's this, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm glad that they're there. Never really had to pay much attention into implementing the different features of them or strengths of them. Because, to have to win, I could have a pistol and still win just because at a certain point, because skill level wise, suddenly it was like, after I started jumping into more battles, just got good enough with the basics that it was like, okay, I won. Cool. And then just out of nowhere, I started to really pay attention to everything each one of these weapons can do and the difference in what scenarios and that kind of thing. And so it's like paying attention, and it was a little bit of a wake up call. Anyhow, we were talking about Leonard. Leonard taking the wheel, though. He's still, what do you call it, sheepish, indecisive. He's more of a what do you think kind of guy, He's gonna be nice. What happened? Why did I level up? I'm just literally floating on a little asteroid. Cool though, thank you. Let's go. I don't think that would ever go away. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think it can be like pushover, but I think he moved beyond that. But I think his fallback is going to be, what do you think? And if there was someone that was, because he's so used to Sheldon, was like, oh no, please just do the thing. Even if he'd be stoked to, he wouldn't know how. Because of that, I honestly think that I would have to carry the social interactions, not in any kind of, for any super negative reason, but just that, yeah, I think he'd be, yeah, I don't think Leonard's going to be on the list, homie. Sorry, dude. Just, I don't think that you take the wheel for that reason. What do you think? You sure? That kind of vibe from Leonard. Which I don't want to. Yeah, someone else please take the wheel. And then there was one. Sheldon. We know where this is going. But, as I do, and out of respect for Jim Parsons and that show and this lame ass premise of mine, I'm gonna show my work. Like everyone else on that show, Sheldon grew. Yeah, he did. Lots of, relational, romantical. What am I doing? I don't think I know what I'm doing. Oh, my mind knows that this is like the time I would be getting off work kind of thing. Although I don't work Saturdays, but it's like this is when you start with the gibberish. Because you don't have to think straight anymore for the day. Sheldon Cooper. We can just start with looking at the boxes that I would normally want to check. Would he want to engage in this conversation? Absolutely. Would he think he would need to win it? Absolutely. He would be immeasurably more annoying about that than, Garrett from Community ever would be. It would be a competition. It would be a thing to win. Would he be good to the wait staff? No, he would not. There is evidence on film. Film? Somewhere it's on film, right? Like maybe season 1 or whatever back in the day. I'm not sure what they shot those shows on. Like, I know later on it was digital. As far as shows that I worked on, I never worked on Big Bang Theory. Of all of the shows that I did, I think it came along. I'm gonna have to look. Wait, when was this? Big Bang Theory. So 2006 to 2000. Okay, so 2000. When was I down there? Because I was back and forth between LA and San Francisco, and the bulk of my TV show and like movie times doing it, background stuff and stand-in stuff and trying to get into Screen Actors Guild was like terrible. Other people remember my life for me, so this is going to be difficult. 2001, 2004, and then I came back in like 2007, 8, 9. This is crazy. I think it's showing some signs of life. Kinda. Oh, you're trying, aren't you? Yeah. It's the upload speed that's the issue. It keeps doing super fast download with the upload, which is key for these games. I think it's going to try now. Yep. Alright. So, yeah. So I think 2000... There would have been some overlap. I don't know. that I was doing a ton that last bit that I was in LA, just because I was kind of over it and more into like trying to make my own stuff. Or was it one of those shows that was hard to get on? Can't remember. Anyway, we're talking about Sheldon. Don't know how I veered into that background work. Janky internet is very distracting for story time. So Sheldon's obviously a big dog. We established some of this, but I can't remember fully why yet. Nope. Son of a... So if all of that's happening up there, it's most likely due to marauders who landed right here. Okay. Sheldon's going to look at everything as a competition. He's going to look at it as a thing to win the conversation rather than just banter and bouncing ideas off of. He doesn't really drink, so he's not going to be in the right state. You know, he'll be like a guy who just woke up, just shot up out of bed, and mind's just completely not on edge, but like super sharp. And with him, too sharp. And then waitstaff wise, obviously, there's evidence of them, you know, being him with Penny and the Cheesecake Factory and all of that. And he was always, I wouldn't never hang out with him. I never would have been a roommate. Like, Leonard was enough of a punching bag and a pushover and all that to like allow himself to stay in that situation, I think. Which is another testament to the writing for that show and into those characters, where it's like you really have to find someone whose background would allow them to stay in that. What's going on out there? Nope. Marauders. Stink bombs, missiles. And I have to go that way, don't I? Sorry to whatever player is dealing with that right now. I would rather be fighting you than them. Let's bounce this way, shall we? So Sheldon's a no. Credit to Parsons and all that. But let's skedaddle and see if I can avoid marauders at this point. Probably not. I'm sure there are like 10 groups of them. Yep, there's one. Son of a biscuit. There are literally 2 groups of them, or what? I hear them. They're crazy gibberish. So in a moment, I think the next round, I'll have to like look at who's left on the list. Yeah, I can't really. Just buying some time here, honestly. Signs of life, signs of life, signs of life, maybe? Come on, Spectrum, you can do it. I'm gonna have to look at the Spectrum status down detector thing just to see during this time how big the spikes were of the reports. Alright. Yeah, I think the next match I'll dive into like those that are left on the list, and then we can go from there as soon as I know things are a little bit more secure. Let's get somewhere and go fight some people. Players, please, players. I want to fight some players. Where are they? Are those marauders probably, or are those two players? Where are they? Come on, buddy. Do I want to try this charge gun? Where are they? Did they go that way? Where the heck are they? Behind me, maybe? Probably. I hear you, buddy. There you are. Okay. Plan, what's the plan? What's the plan? Get his location. There he is. Ah! Come on, buddy. Ah! How much? Oh. So close. He had 4 left. Alright. Well, let's look at the list. What do we have left? Stewart, Bernadette, Raj, and Howard. Really? Did I put Howard on the list? Yeah, I did, didn't I? Let's split Raj and Howard up here in this last little bit. Yeah. So we'll do, let's see, Stewart versus Howard, and then Bernadette versus Raj. Because I want to put the couple together. Oof, that was a close one. I honestly think that it's like I'm trying to get better with those charge guns, but they're better close up. I probably should have done the burst, the blue one, in that scenario. But live and learn. Alright. While Spectrum is not being a pain in the ass, we should finish this one off. Stewart and Howard each would have something to bring to the table as far as the conversation is concerned. Each would be this type of scenario, this premise. Each would be good to the waitstaff. I think Stewart would be more sincere, obviously, because he's also he's a store owner. He works in the retail, so he understands. I think because of that, he'd take over. And again, it would be from a very sincere kind of place. Howard's would be as well, because I think because of how embarrassed I'm sure he was with his mom and the way she would have, I would assume, treated. He'd be also like keen to take over and make sure both would be in the right state of mind. Something extra though. I don't know that there's a lot, compared to some of the characters from other shows, that I would learn or be inspired by from either of them. That would be a stretch. But compared to each other, I think it comes down to this debate. They're pretty much on par otherwise. Let's have a dance. I think Stewart's would just be more sincere, they both would have something to offer. Maybe Stewart a little more so. One moment. And I think because what was that? Dance on. Okay. I like being rewarded for dancing. I think there would be more of a genuine desire for bouncing the ideas off of each other with Stewart. I think he's also got a lot of practice because he works in the comic book store, so he gets a lot of those more abrasive kind of personalities that just want to, I'm throwing, look at the trivia that I know, and this and that. And I think he's got a lot of practice in engaging in a way where it's like, oh yeah, he could fake, obviously, the sincerity, but I think if he came across someone, have I ever been down this way? I don't think I have. That's weird. Playing this game for years. I think he'd be delighted, that someone was having this conversation and wasn't about to just badger someone with facts. Clearly, I can ramble on about it. Obviously. But yeah, Stewart, man. Stewart's coming out on top between him Howard. Oh, yeah, we're down to 3. Stewart. Let's look at Bernadette. Raj. I know where I'm leaning, but I gotta let it. I gotta do it. Or cursed when dealing with this much. It's trying. It's trying. I think it's trying. For a second. Yeah, sort of. So, I think I'll start editing these. It usually doesn't happen this much. This is actually very unusual. So who were we talking about? Nope. And there it goes again. Come on, buddy. You can do this. Internets. We were talking about Raj and Bernadette. Let's bring it down to 2 after when we decide here. I think Raj would be more down as far as the conversation is concerned. I don't think that he'd be Captain Debater Man like Howard would be. Like a conversation to. I think he'd still when removed from his peers would actually quite enjoy like bouncing the ideas off of, you know. Stick to the. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I forgot I was right next to a truck, and that's what that button does there. No joy rides for me right now, thank you. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Oof. Okay. Got me a couple times. What is that? So I think, yeah, he'd be into it, and I think temperamentally would be pretty cool, like, about having that conversation. I am trying to have a conversation right now. Okay? So will you all please chill? Thank you. Oh, I need that, don't I? And that door. Alright. Give me that back. You inside? Look at that. Who's shooting at me? Who's doing that? Someone's right there. Dang it! Bad aiming me. Big Daddy Marion. Good job. Yes. Alright. Truly, let's remind you of the title of this video. Mediocre game. Remember. Please remember. I don't even know if I can call that that today. Okay. Raj and Bernadette. So he'd be pretty appealing as far as that conversation is concerned, because when removed from those peers of his, I think. There we go. That's better. He'd be really nice to be excited that there's like, similar to Stuart. It's like, oh, we're just gonna bounce some ideas off of each other. He'd be very polite to the wait staff. Would he take the wheel like Bernadette would do? So would be more so uh, prone to doing so. I know what I'm trying to say. There we are. Okay, we gotta get through these. Bernadette and Raj. Raj would be more genuinely interested in the conversation, although I know she would be able to find common ground, and I think enjoy the premise itself. Mess with the internet. You know what's gonna happen. How about we go to this beach? Yeah. I didn't touch that button. What is happening? Internet. Spectrum, get your stuff together, man. Seriously. Sound detector, where are you? Sound spectrum outage. Let's check. If I can even connect. Oh yeah, look at that. Well, all I gotta do is somehow sneak this stuff in so we can finish this round. I can throw my router out the window, you know? And it looks like it's working for a minute, so let's talk about this. I think Bernadette is going to win this just because I think she definitely would take the wheel. More so than Raj would. And everything else, all of the other aspects. Wait, no, I do want that. Are there for both of them, and I think that she kind of pushes that aspect of her taking the wheel and kind of not taking charge, but taking the social aspects of working with the wait staff and everything off of my plate, which would be awesome. She's very sweet, and she's a mom, And I always learn from moms, good ones, no matter how old they are. So, because of that, um, she's going to move on to the final two. Let's make that official. So it's Stuart versus Bernadette. Did not see that coming. As nice as Stuart is, and as no, he does speak their language though. You know what I mean? Like as far as that whole take the wheel aspect of it, he definitely speaks their language. So it would be kind of effortless, and I wouldn't be. I think because of that, it seeming natural would keep me from being like, oh, I feel bad for him, like having to do that. I think her assertiveness be similar though, because she's just take charge kind of gal. What is between them, like with each of them? What is that extra thing though? Because they've checked all the boxes and they've, have little bits here and there that kind of beat out the other characters. But what's that extra thing? Because they're both pretty on par and all of the like foundational elements of what I'm looking for in a hungover brunch guest. This Brunch Madness Big Bang Theory edition. Honestly, I think it's what I mentioned just previously. I think she's a mom, She's a new mom, so she's learning all of these things, but she's like, and that's cool to learn about and to hear about. But someone who's taken that step in, deciding to take care of another life, and someone who's doing that who's younger than me, it's pretty cool. And I think I would want to be, I swear to God, Spectrum, what in the absolute F? I don't often hit up support stuff, I try to avoid it. I think I might hit up Spectrum support. Ask Spectrum. Twitter team, you can expect me tonight. Like, what the heck? So I think because of that, like in between these top two, both great candidates for Hungover Brunchcast, I think Bernadette's going to win because, like, out of all the things where they match up greatly, I think the fact that she's decided to, she's not just some, like, dumb kid who... I hear someone. Where are you? I would like this, please. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't like a... What was that movie with, dude from Wedding Crashers? No, not Wedding Crashers, but, Old School. Luke Wilson. Where, like, smart people, idiocracy, like, only, like, the bored kids and dumb people were just, like, without putting any thought into if they could raise the kids or could take care of their kids, they just kept having kids. And then the people who were more, put more reasoning and, like, caution and whatever into that decision, like, just resulted in a much dumber society because the smart, well-reasoned people stopped having kids. But anyways, yeah, I think Bernadette wins this edition, which was more taxing because of internets that haven't been giving me issues lately. Yeah, Big Bang Theory March Madness, Big Bang Theory edition, Bernadette Rostenkowski is the winner. She's going on a bracket. I might mix this up. She's going on a bracket with Caroline Forbes. Should be. Where are you, buddy? Where are you, buddy? And the internet's crapping out on me again. Son of a biscuit, right in the middle of a fight. You've got to be kidding me. Here you go. Alright. I'm loaded up on ammo. Ah! Well, I'm going out on that one. At least I got a win tonight, didn't I? Or did I get that last night? I didn't get a win tonight. That's fine. I am so over this internet. But anyways, congratulations to friggin' Bernadette. So yeah, she's going on a bracket with Caroline Forbes from Vampire Diaries, which I might mix up a little bit, just because they seem very similar. But maybe that'd be an interesting competition. Thor and Jacob Kowalski from Fantastic Beasts are on one together. That's kind of funny. A herald has found the island. The prelude to war has begun. Fortnite Season 4. What is this? So you're giving me a comic book. Asgard, City of the Gods, Kingdom of Thor. 2 weeks. It had only been 2 weeks since Thor, the once Prince of Asgard and God of Thunder, had been crowned the king of the Golden City in his father's stead. When Galactus, devourer of worlds, charged into his home desperate, beaten, and in need of help. 2 weeks as king before Galactus told him of the coming of the Black Winter, of the death of all things, of the existence of 5 special planets that, when consumed, would give Galactus the strength to push the winter back, to prevent its gnawing shadow from falling across the whole of reality. And so, 2 weeks into bearing his father's crown and throne, Thor took a new title and arose as the new Herald of Thunder, as seen in Thor 2020 #1. So, we're getting, could be space themed, maybe. Definitely Thor's happening, so Avengers. It doesn't look like Chris Hemsworth version of Thor, like that crossover that they did, you know, when you got the, like, where I got my Quinjet. This is interesting. Together, Thor and Galactus successfully discovered one of the 5 planets. We're going into planets again. And after Thor evacuated the planet's inhabitants via the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge of Asgard. No, duh, we know what the Bifrost is, bro. God. Galactus consumed the planet's energies, and they journeyed on to find the rest. Interesting. But then, in the distance, in the moment existing between seconds, something else appeared. Far, far beyond the fields we know. There, the power, infinite. I cannot escape its pull. If I feed on this, there will be nothing that can... Galactus, no! Uh-oh, bro. I must have it, Galactus will feed. You forgot yourself, Galen. We have a mission. You cannot... No time. I have to warn them before he gets to them. Have to. Oh. So, this business is coming to Fortnite somehow. Interesting. It's in the item shop. Son of a monkey. Now I gotta wait just so that I can say goodbye. Looks like it's back. Perhaps so. I'm going to sign off while I can. As usual, channel is Chasing Geekdom. You can find, I'm usually doing out in the world when it's normal on chasinggeekdom.com. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all Chasing Geekdom. You'll find the links. You'll see my schedule is going to be a little bit different than what it shows, possibly, because I'm on vacation this week. And, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully, my internet provider will deal with their ass. And it won't cut out a million times like it did today. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Hopefully, I'll be able to get that last solo win, despite the season that I want to get to my goal, even with internet issues and hordes of idiotic marauders. But where am I? So many screens, I tell you. Yeah, that is all for today, and now I'm going to enjoy some entertainment, probably watch more Billy on the street so that he can yell on my behalf. I'll be back tomorrow, brunchish.